outlining now how or the role then that CARMMA
so in a way, CARMMA was designed to accelerate the reduction of maternal mortality, but also it was to also bring to focus the implementation of the continental policy on sexual reproductive health and rights and its Maputo plan of action. And that continental policy somehow is linked to MDG 4 and it's also linked to MDG 6. And MDG 4 is under 5 mortality and MDG 6 is HIV.
Thank you very much. So in your view, how have African countries, including the 9 that we asked to speed up or launching CARMMA in their countries and the eventual launch in other countries, how well have countries performed on this campaign in relation to the Maputo Plan of Action also?
First and foremost, the 9 countries that were selected, the AUC made sure that it follow up on them, and within a year of the launching, all of them launched it, but more also who were not among the 9 joined in launching CARMMA, and that is why today 37, that's more than 2/3 of the AU 54 member states, have launched CARMMA, and it has considerably really accelerated the pace of the reduction in maternal mortality in those countries, as a result of highlighting and becoming a sort of the health of women and how it's been neglected and how it's like a collective shame on all of us. But more importantly, CARMMA has been a good source of mobilization, because if we are really going to reduce maternal mortality, you need social mobilization. It has to involve everybody, men, women, young, the children, and the whole. And it also means trying to break cultural barriers that are negatively or harmful to the health of women. It also means highlighting that with CARMMA, with the campaign, that it is cheaper, it is cost effective, that investment in health, in particular in the health of women, is an investment in economic development. But more importantly, that is also that the death of women is not random, but preventable. At very reasonable cost financially. When you start with what they call the continuum of care, with the basic primary tenet that it is a right of the woman, that every pregnancy must be wanted. Every pregnancy must be wanted, it must be the choice of the woman, and must be made safe. So it's the choice of the woman to decide, to have absolute control over her body, and to decide when she wants to be pregnant. And so CARMMA has that basic something about the choice that the woman has, and about making pregnancy safe, but above all, it's emphasizing making family planning available, making family planning consumables and commodities available, meeting the unmet needs of family planning. All right? And it moves on, providing proper prenatal or antenatal care until the birth of the child and into the postpartum period, and of course also with appropriate vaccination for the newborn until appropriate nutrition. So it's a continuum of care. And of course, again, when we say proper care for the antenatal, making it available, and of course also for women with HIV to be able to not just prevent, but eventually eliminate the transmission of, from mother to child of HIV.
Thank you very much. My last question now relates to the role that young people can play. I know when the campaign started, its strength depended a lot on high-level political commitment in different countries. But honestly, if really countries are going to make progress, governments need to be held to account, different stakeholders need to work to make sure that we deliver on all fronts in terms of health service delivery, in terms of making sure expecting mothers or even those who need access to family planning services have accurate information. So given all those things and the different roles that different stakeholders can play, what would you say is the role of young people, or can be the role of young people youth leadership as part of CARMMA?
First, let me say, now when it comes to accountability is at all levels. Yes, government has primary responsibility. There's no doubt about that, and has the largest responsibility. But I did say earlier that CARMMA is about social mobilization. But everybody in the society, traditional rulers, men, in many of the CARMMA launches that I attended, I've had moving testimony from the men who have lost their partners, their wives and daughters. Okay, so it can, most of the people, most of the women and girls affected or are within the reproductive, reproductive age.
Yeah.
So, and when you take the population of Africa, the greatest percentage of the youth population. So when we are talking about sexual reproductive health and rights, it's actually about the young people. So the young people too have they have as much responsibility and role to play as the government, because it's about their sexuality. It's about they getting pregnant, and it's about they knowing the right choices.
Yes.
Of course, it's about also the government making sure that their unmet needs are available. Which reminded me of a recent survey, and I don't want to disclose too much about that. Among the young people, what are you afraid of more? Getting pregnant or contracting HIV/AIDS? Isn't it? You know the answer. You are more afraid of getting pregnant than contracting HIV/AIDS.
Yeah.
That says a lot about the need to meet, for them to be properly educated about the choices they have in terms of family planning, in terms of making those consumables available to them, and guiding them, or rather being well informed to make, appropriate choices and well-informed choices. So the young people have a role here. Because if in the long run, Africa is to really have realize the enormous dividend that is awaiting it in terms of demographics, then we must be looking at the fertility rate. We must be looking at properly educating the young, especially the girl child, in investing in education, whether in reproductive health or whatever, but in making sure that they have the skill that is required by the economy. Not just any skill.
Yes.
Okay? Not just any skill. Not just any education that will lead you to graduating into unemployment, which in turn will not, you will not be able, you will not empower, you won't be empowered. Apart from your education, the best empowerment you can have is to have a good job. So as a young girl, as a young, as a young person, as a girl, or as a young woman, your empowerment is good education that is required by the economy, that you can get a good job or create a job on your own.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And then you are empowered to make the right choices. So young people have a role to play. They need to go into the schools that, you can make love.
Yeah.
You don't have to make babies.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay? But you can make love. It's not a crime. as long as you're not committing rape or statutory rape.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean by statutory rape?
Yes, yes.
But there's nothing wrong in making, in having the pleasure of lovemaking or sex, because it's worrisome. Not just because perhaps now people live longer with HIV, but when people say when in a choice they are scared of getting pregnant, then contracting HIV it's an indication to a lot that we all have work to do.
Yes, and information.
Remember, pregnancy is not a disease.
Yeah. Thank you very much. The last part is more of an interactive part. We have a social media campaign to try and drum up support amongst young people on CARMMA and share information on the different activities that they can do to support the work that's being done in country and engage more young people to discuss CARMMA, and also, as you've said, make more informed decisions and understand the dynamics of maternal mortality and how it affects them as individuals and what they can do at individual level. So we have a Why for CARMMA campaign, and as part of the goings on at the summit, we'd love also to get support statements from different leaders, including yourself, if you're available, to add credibility to the campaign and show young people that there is commitment at various levels to the work that we are doing on social media.
I forgot to say something before you get to social media. That's part of the work the young people can do. Part of the program, part of the role of the young people in CARMMA is also to be actively engaged, not just in campaign. You remember I said it's about social mobilization.
Yes.
Not just about making family planning consumable, available, or education. Young people must also take on the fight of discouraging early marriages, marriage of underage girls. It must be at the forefront of their campaign. It's one of the ways they can help CARMMA. I remember in Chad when I participated in the launching of CARMMA in Chad in 2009. The First Lady of Chad then, who was actively involved, actually combined two other issues with CARMMA. In other words, they brought in two other issues into CARMMA, or rather highlighted because they are inherent in it.
Yes.
And one is violence against women, whether it's sexual violence or physical violence or whatever, and the other is early marriages. Because when you look at one of the most contributing factors to high maternal mortality rate and morbidity, it is early marriage. Apart from unsafe abortion, it is early marriages, which then lead to other complications. So it must be at the forefront of what the young people will do about CARMMA. Good. I wanted to say that. So I once said that when you said you wanted something about support or something like that.
Yeah.